Welcome to the very first video of UPSC Shorts Weekly Current Affairs series. In this series, we will bring you weekly video on all important current events happened in last week. We will try to make videos as short as possible by removing irrelevant content while ensuring that all important points are covered. This content have been developed by myself and I have cleared UPSC Civil Services examination in my very first attempt in 2017. Therefore, you can be rest assured about quality of content. Let's move to our first slide. Discovery of first gamma ray eclipses from a star system by NASA's Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope. In this news, there are few important aspects. First is this was the first gamma ray eclipse and this was discovered by NASA by using their Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope. Second thing, what are spider systems? So basically spider systems are a binary star systems. Binary star systems means it contains two stars. One is a pulsar and another is a companion star. So what is pulsar? Pulsar is a fast rotating star and it is remnant of a star that have been exploded into a supernova. Pulsar emits beams of multiwavelength light which gives appearance like spider. That is why this system is called a spider system. And gamma rays emitted by this pulsar are used to measure tilt of a spider system, and further that tilt is used to measure mass of the spider system. Scientists divide spider systems into two categories. First is black widows, which contains companion star with less than 5% of the sun's mass, and red back system, which contains companion star with 10 to 50% of sun's mass. Our second news is about establishment of grievance appellate committees. The grievance appellate committee is an online appellate forum established to ensure that grievances of citizens arising from big technology platforms or internet are addressed properly. This committee will operate fully online. It is a virtual digital platform and this is an appellate platform because the decisions which are already given by internet intermediaries for the grievances raised by citizens are appealed here in front of GAC, Grievance Appellate Committee, and this committee will give a final decision within period of 30 days. Our next slide is All India Survey on Higher Education released by Education Ministry. This survey was in news because this survey showed that there is rising or widening gender gap in undergraduate programs during pandemic. This is an annual survey and this is a web-based All India survey. These two things are to be remembered, and this survey is conducted by Education Ministry. And during this survey, various parameters, various criteria are used, and after using those data points, various indicators are arrived, such as gross enrollment ratio, pupil teacher ratio, gender parity index, etc. Our next slide is Thalattosuchian fossil discovery. This fossil was discovered in UK and it could be the oldest of its kind ever discovered. So importance of this fossil is that it fills a gap in the fossil record and suggests that Thalattosuchians and other crocodile-like animals could have been originated earlier. And this fossil was in appearance similar like crocodiles. Our fifth news is about digital public goods. So Digital public goods and digital public infrastructure is highlighted in economic survey. Therefore, I have included it here. So what is digital public good? Digital public good is a kind of service, software service or internet based service such as UPI, Aadhaar, which can be used by any citizen for making their lives easier. And these goods are used to make digital public infrastructure operational. Sixth news is about genetic makeup of native Indian cow breeds. For the first time, this has happened for the first time, that is why it becomes more important. The Indian Institute of Science, Education and Research Bhopal have unraveled genetic makeup of native Indian cow breeds. And there are some highlighted names of cow breeds also, such as Kasargod Dorf, Kasargod Kapila, Vechur and Ongole. The native Indian cows have special abilities such as tolerant to heat resistance plus tolerance to certain diseases. Therefore, these breeds are to be preserved and are important for Indian biodiversity. Next concept of reverse flipping was also appeared in economic survey. Therefore, it has been included here. So, reverse flipping is nothing but reverse of the flipping. And what is flipping? Flipping is a process by which an Indian company becomes a subsidiary of a foreign entity. And what is reverse flipping? In the process of reverse flipping, again the Indian company which was earlier became a subsidiary of foreign entity comes back to India and becomes independent. So reverse flipping is the process of shifting the domicile of those companies back to India who flipped earlier. So just remember that this reverse flipping is something related to startups, businesses, companies. The next concept is genome and genome sequencing. This was in news in context with the genome sequencing of native cow breeds, which we discussed just before. So what is genome? Genome is a blueprint that contains all the information of an organism in the form of DNA. So basically all the DNA in an organism is genome of that organism. And what is genome sequencing? So genome sequencing refers to the sequencing of entire such genome. It is basically figuring out the order of DNA nucleotides or bases which are there in DNA. So these two concepts are very important. As a part of science and technology, they can be asked for prelims. Then next concept is Trishakti Prahar. Trishakti Prahar, as the name indicates, it is an exercise involving three forces: Indian Army, Air Force and CAPF, and it is a joint military exercise. Next concept is Additional Surveillance Measure, ASM. ASM was introduced by SEBI in 2018 to curb the market volatility. So this was in news recently because of some news related to Adani Group. That is why it becomes important to know that what is ASM. So basically ASM is something related to stock market volatility. This much of information is enough. Then there is a portal called WAMSI, WAMSI, Waqf Assets Management System of India. This is a digital portal uh, created for digitization of Waqf property and GIS mapping to prevent encroachment. This is operated by Ministry of Minority Affairs and implemented through Central Waqf Council. The next concept is FPO, follow-on public offer. FPO is similar to the IPO. In IPO, the company for the first time comes public to get the funding in exchange of equity, whereas in FPO, in subsequent funding rounds, if company wants to get fund in exchange of equity, then the company comes up with FPO, follow on public offer. That is why it is called follow on public offer, whereas initial public offer, IPO, is called initial public offer, the first one. This was also in news because of Adani Group, and this is a very commonly used term, so one should be knowing it. So just for the information purpose, I have included. The next term is lab grown diamonds. The Indian finance minister announced budget recently, and in the budget she has focused a lot on lab grown diamonds, because these lab grown diamonds are a kind of replacement for original diamonds. These lab-grown diamonds are diamonds produced using technology by mimicking the geological process, and these diamonds are very much similar in chemistry, physics, and optically also they are very much similar to the natural diamonds. These lab-grown diamonds are primarily used for industrial process. Remember this, primarily used for industrial process, and then secondarily they are being used for jewelry making. The next news is about Asiatic black bears attack in Kashmir. So there have been numerous attacks of Asiatic black bear in Kashmir, and this is an example of man-animal conflict. This can be used in essay as well as in GS question, if the question is related to man-animal conflict. And what is the reason for this man-animal conflict in Kashmir? Because of two main reasons. As the natural habitat have been converted into agricultural fields, and fencing around India-Pakistan border is also blocking the movement. What is IUCN status of the Asiatic black bear? It is vulnerable. So this can be asked in prelims. And this animal is protected under Appendix 1 of CITES and Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act 1972. So these two things are very important from prelims perspective. One, IUCN status. Second, CITES, and third, Wildlife Protection Act. So this is the homework. What is CITES and what is Wildlife Protection Act? Go and read it. This is one of the most important topics in environment and ecology. The next slide is about Deep Ocean Mission. So Indian government has recently allocated 600 crore rupees for Deep Ocean Mission. As the name indicates, the mission is about something about deep ocean. So what they are doing in deep ocean, first thing, they are trying to preserve the marine biodiversity along with sustainable use of resources. What kind of resources? There can be various mineral resources available at the floor of the ocean. So they can be used. For example, manganese, zinc, cobalt, which can be extracted from the sea floor, which can be used for building batteries for electrical vehicles, renewable energy, smartphones, etc. And under this mission, they are also building manned submersible vehicles, which can go deep as 6,000 meters. The next slide is Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitats and Tangible Incomes, MISHTI. This is a very important scheme. Firstly, because it has been recently launched, and secondly, it is related to ecological conservation. So this becomes very, very important. This is one of the most important slides out of total 16 slides. Then in this slide, firstly, remember that this scheme is for mangrove plantation along the coastline and on salt pan lands. Secondly, Mangrove Alliance for Climate Change. Remember this MAC, Mangrove Alliance for Climate. This was launched in 27th session of Conference of Parties with India as a partner along with many other countries like Sri Lanka and Indonesia to preserve and restore mangrove forest in and around Asian region. So remember this Misty. So guys, this is our last slide. With this we come to end to this presentation. See you in the next video. If there is any suggestion, any kind of suggestion, please comment and let us know so that we keep on improving from our side so that a better and better content is delivered to you. Thank you. All the best.